Welcome back to another video. It's another day, and another day to find another way to be. To be YouTube. You to be. YouTube to be. You to be. YouTube. See, that's pure creativity. That's pure creativity, my boy. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Smiles, smiles and waves, waves and smiles. I'm going to say less words and just be more interesting, like just purely creatively coming out with whatever, anything, everything. There is no wrong, there is no right. It is all just an illusion. Illusion. Dance all night. Dance all night. If you're not sure what to do, just dance. That's all. So anyway, it's another day and another dollar. What day is it today? It's I should right. Oh yeah, beautiful. Right, so say. Bingo, wingo, bingo, wingo, bow, 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 bow. Chicka chicka chung chung chicka chicka ching ding jack ding jack ding diddly dat ding dwayne 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 buddy biddy buddy biddy buddy biddy buddy biddy bland dwan 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 ba da 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 boom. It's Sunday, so see what happens today. Very Tourettesy. Um, Nothing, everything. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep making my strange videos. Strange videos. Weird videos. Weirdios. Doing some of this, doing some of that, doing some of this, doing some of that. Do a bit of this, do a bit of that. Bang tiki bang tiki tiki bang 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 tiki tiki bang tiki tiki hey bang tiki tiki bang tiki tiki bang 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 tiki tiki bang tiki tiki what bow tiki tiki bow tiki tiki bow 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 tiki tiki bow tiki tiki hey 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 biddy biddy boom. Smoke that shit, bitch. Boom. Wow. Crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This has now all become pointless. No, it hasn't. See how I could straight away disagree with myself. That's because I've not got an opinion. Or I do, but then I instantly say I disagree. With who? With me. Isn't that interesting? No, you're not allowed to be so interesting, are you? People think it's strange. Okay, well, I guess I look strange. Okay with me. What, you think I'm not allowed to talk to you? You think I'm not allowed to talk to me? Is that what you think? No. So, how do you react to all of this strangeness? Well, it's not strange to me because it's only strange if you think it's strange. And if you just think it is what it is, then it's nothing at all, is it? Words are just like birds. They fly and float away into the sky. I've got nothing left to say. It's true. These videos are terrible. I know. Where is it all going? I don't know. Nowhere fast. Nowhere slow either, really. Nowhere any speed. Try and make sense. I don't want to. This is so much more fun. I'd rather just be able to just say, whatever. Don't care. You don't like it? Okay. I like it? Okay. There you go. That's the balance on that one. I like it? Okay. I don't like it? Okay. See how that's okay? See how it's all okay? See how nothing is not okay? See how when it's not okay, it's okay? See how when it's okay, it's okay? Crying, whining babies. Okay, keep going. I care, but I don't. But you just don't know. Well, you do. I don't want to disparage anybody. It's just all about this is this, that is that, all that. So simple. Nothing to say. Everything's going to be A-OK. Go play. Go away. Go to the bay. This is just what you call a live poetic performance. This is what you call music and sound. This is what you call rap lyrics. This is what you call a brainstorming session. Just coming out with whatever pops in. Whatever pops in is whatever pops out. Pop in, pop out, pop it all about. Yeah, it gets kind of cringy, right? But it's good fun just to like I said yesterday's video, play with words. Play with the words, mate. Play with the words. You got to keep playing with the words. Do you know what I mean? All right, all right, all right. All right, I'll see you later then, mate. Have a good one, mate. All right. Do you know what life is? It's silly. It's nothing. It's just this. See that? You don't have to try to be good if you're great. You don't have to try to be great if you're good. I gotta think about what to do to make these videos better. I'm not actually sure. Um, yeah, I should be thinking all these thoughts in my own head, but I don't think in my own head anymore. And now I think out loud it to a camera because it's just not worth keeping anything in. It really isn't. It's much better just to get it out. And once it's out, it's like it's captured. And then it's like, well, that's it. That's an honest reflection of what was happening, you know? Whether that was, whether you have any words to describe that or not, well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to think about how to get some ideas for like really good ways to make better videos or whatever else it is that I'm going to do. The biggest, most obvious one is move. Yeah, that's definitely the most obvious one. And then it'll just be like, well, I'm not just doing this daily video. Like, I'm in flipping London, like the best city ever. So that should just be like endless content, or at least me walking around. I mean, there's so much going on, but it's almost like there's too much going on. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. I did decide, like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. There's so many little micro decisions that come into every sort of macro decision, and then it makes it more and more difficult to really like actually think in a clear way. But I don't want to think in a clear way anyway. I'm okay with not thinking in a clear way. Just however I'm thinking, that's the way I'm thinking. Why does it have to be clear? What's this obsession with trying to be clear? I don't want to be clear. I just want to be whatever I am. That's okay with me. No issues there. I'm okay. So all I got to do really is just nothing because there's no way to get to anything. It's just and there's no point wanting anything because it's not going to give you any sort of like benefit to actually even think about anything you even want or anything you might think you want because you don't even want that really. Like you kind of do, but then you kind of don't, and then you kind of do for a bit, but then you kind of don't for a bit, and then you kind of like you kind of do it, but then you kind of think, have I done the right thing? And then you think, yeah, but then you think no, and it's like your whole brain is just a flip flop, and it's just going flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. This that, this that, this that. Change your mind, change your mind, change your mind. Here and there, every fucking where. Every day, here we go. Change your mind, change your mind. That's like what your brain is just doing all the time. It's just singing these songs of just like, it's this, no, it's that. No, it's that, no, it's this. No, it's this, no, it's that. No, it's that, no, it's this. No, it's up, no, it's down. No, it's left, no, it's right. It just keeps going round and round and round. It's like this endless, endless thing. So, how do you really get anything done? How do you make anything happen when that's the way your brain is just ticking and it's just ticking and it just keeps going, keeps going? It's like, what do you do? I don't know. Well, you do what you can do basically, and people say like, "Oh, that's manic, that's crazy." It's like, no, that's the average person. That's what they're all like. It's just whether they admit that or not, that's a different story. That's a different question. It's like most people just don't admit quite how crazy they are, but I'm just not even thinking in those terms, like those words, like I was saying, words, and the way people use words to define things, and as if they have meanings. It's the words have no meanings no more. There's no solidity to them. People just say that group of letters bunched together, and then they ascribe their own set of understandings as to what that means, but no one even knows what that means apart from them. I mean, other people think that they know, and they all talk about it and go, "Oh yes, we all agree that we understand each other and we know what each other are saying, and I think the words are the same as what you think the words are." And it's like, well, then that's not going to be the way it is. It's going to go in a different direction. That's all just going to become a jumbled mess of just like rubbish, and then you have to start again trying to piece together the pieces and make sense out of what's going on. You just can't. It's just impossible. You're not going to be able to make sense out of anything. You just have to accept that nothing's going to make any sense whatsoever, or it might do, but it might not. And if you can just deal with that, it's like, okay, well, this is like what people sound like when they're on crack or when they've been taking drugs. It's like, well, yeah, maybe it is, but it's also what people just sound like in their own heads, even just any old day, no matter what, no matter what's going on. There's no real difference between states of mind. It's like everyone's nuts already. It's just like the fact that everyone's nuts means that no one's nuts. There's no such thing as nuts anymore, because that used to have to be the exception to the rule, and now it's just the rule. It's like that's just what everyone's got going on in their heads. It's all a crazy mess of this just stupid, insane, like rambling nonsense. And it's like, yeah, of course, that's what you have going on in your head. And why do you think that is? Well, we can say it's we say it's the TikTok's fault. But you don't think that people weren't already like that before TikTok? Like, of course they flipping were. Yeah. It's not like social media created mental illness, and it's not like mental illness even exists. I don't know what to do. It's 1:30 in the morning. I was asleep all day yesterday. Or I fell asleep at like 3 or 4 p.m. It's probably about 3:30. Because I just got really tired. Because obviously the night before I was out drinking. And then I got up at like 6 a.m. So that was probably only like 5 or 6 hours sleep or something. But I felt great. And then managed to stay up to like 3 and then fell asleep again. So now I've been up since like 10 p.m. And it's now like 1. It's about 1:30 a.m. So I'm probably going to be up all night now. Or, well, it's the morning now, I guess. And then what I'm actually going to do, I have no idea. Seems to be what when I end up talking to the camera is like when I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to do. obviously there's so many different options as to what I could do. Obviously, there's loads of things I could do. There's no shortage of choices. I could do literally anything I want to. Not literally anything. There's definitely some things I can't do. But I'm not focusing too much now on just trying to do anything in particular. It's way more now all about figuring out the places that I've got myself to mentally and undoing some of the knots that I've been tied up in with having had way too many conversations with other people and then them successfully putting ideas in my head that are obviously just not good. They're not. So I'm having to undo this tangled mess that I've ended up being caught up in. And I'm still annoyed that I even got caught up in that mess in the first place. But that's obviously justified because it's not right or moral for a person to be trying to purposefully influence another person in the negative, to attempt to actually try and put them in a state of some kind. It's like, what are you doing? It's not a nice thing to do. It's not a way to treat people. You can't really refer to anyone as your friend if that's the way you act with them. That's not how I act with my friends. If I see someone as a friend, I do everything I can to try and help them out. Well, I think there is progress being made. The best progress for me is after going to Camden Town and what happened there was so great. And I started thinking that, well, that's why I need to be there without coming to the conclusion that, which I have now, which is that you only have to go there, quote unquote, inside yourself, because you're already there. A part of you is already there, just like a part of you is already anywhere that you've been to before, because you have a memory of it. That means that you have consciousness associated to that, which is you would have to describe as your own personal consciousness. So it's like a little piece of your soul is in every place that you go to. And that's not a bad thing. It's not like you've lost a piece of your soul. it's actually a great thing. It's like you're leaving a point of reference for other people to connect with, who could find that magic, who are connected to that magic, who know what that means. And that's just perfect. So everything changed after that moment. And now I'm obviously still thinking, like, I want to go back. But that's not a choice that is totally within my hands. Or it depends on who am I, you know? I have all the ideas and everything, but I have to work through all of the mental blocks that appear in order to actually reach points of manifestation. That's what's missing from a lot of people's thought processes, is that to just think, I can think of what I want to do and then I just go ahead and do it. That's not always true. You have to talk about that a lot. And you have to see how you react to talking about it. So you have to work through all of your mental processes that lead to the possibility of the manifestation of that which it is that you think you want. So that's completely different to this generalized idea that's been proposed by people who think that there's some kind of instant possibility to manifest. That's not true as far as I'm aware. There may be someone who can do that, and yeah, I guess at times there's been times where I've been connected to that ability as well. But that's not a personal choice that you get to take part in. That's more like what you could describe as like a God-given gift, meaning it's not within your control to create a manifestation. Unless you have been granted that ability to do so. Which I do believe does happen. Some people are at certain times granted the ability to connect to that power of instant manifestation. I think that's true. It's incredible to me to see just how easy it is to get yourself into a complete mess just by talking. But at the same time, you can also get yourself out of a complete mess just by talking. I do fear that I'm going to run out of the desire to keep doing this. But I don't think I am, because I've become such a reliable friend to my own self that it's now that I'm the only person that's here now to keep me company. And I'm not watching YouTube videos now of anyone else. I'm just watching my YouTube videos of me, and they're the best. So it's funny how everything's changed. I'm not the person I once was, but I'm also more like I used to be than I ever have been. Meaning, like, I feel the same way as I did when I was, you know, a kid, when I was just excited about life. So it's good to have that again. I'm done with regrets and everything like that. I'm not adopting any of those sort of thoughts anymore. I'm always now just looking forward, and more than that, being present. I mean, even looking forward really is a waste of time. A little bit just to get a picture of what you could do, but it's not the picture of what you're going to do. So that means you're better off to just focus on where you are, what you're doing, and a lot of the time thinking that there's somewhere better that you can go than where you are means not really enjoying where you are. But I think the counter argument to that would be that you're enjoying the moment of having the fantasy of the future. And that's true, but you have to let go of that as well. When that fantasy comes to an end, you have to be willing to say, that's not real. That's not going to happen. Even though it seems like something good. And it could well happen, but the likelihood is that it's probably not going to happen. I mean, I don't know why I say that. Like, the likelihood could be that it is going to happen. I guess it's just how you look at it. It's like, do you think that when you picture good things coming, that that's what's going to happen? Because I feel like I've pictured those things so many times, but I guess, I guess then they do happen. Yeah, I guess good things do happen. Um, and I'm starting to accept that and be less focused on like the other way of thinking. I think what I was trying to do there is to be like something that I'm not, which is just hopeless. I mean, that's just not who I am. I don't have this hopelessness within me. It's quite the opposite. I really believe in like good. I believe there is many ways to connect to what it is that's coming to you, and that by doing that, you make that happen. I really wish I'd started talking to myself on the camera about all these thoughts such a long time ago, because then there could have been a possibility of not running into the kinds of situations I did that I didn't want to happen. Everything must be alright. Because there's no because, it's just that really. I think I'm just gonna have to just lay here. I don't really want to listen to anyone else talking about anything. So I'm not going to be watching any more YouTube videos. Is it possible that the best thing you could ever do is just go out and go for a walk? How can that be true? How can that be the best thing ever? But it has to be, because it's the one option. So the one option has to be the best thing ever. It is really great to connect with people through the internet, and to think that alright, so I fell asleep again a bit. It's now 11:34 a.m. and I gotta go to the loo. I keep getting this feeling in my left hand recently, like it's kind of like numbness. I'm not sure whether it comes or goes. I keep noticing it. I'm gonna make some coffee. I just woke up, like I said, so it's pretty obvious. I'm a bit tired. Can't even speak. I'm a bit tired. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. What's coffee doing? Oh man. I really have nothing else going on in my life at all. Apart from just making this video every day. So it's just gonna be videos of me just talking. I mean, that's what it is now. But hopefully at some point there'll be a bit more to it than that. That'll be if I actually manage to find something else worth doing. And I do in part think, what's even the point of that? Oh man, you know why it is why I wake up feeling bad sometimes? It's because something's happened in a dream and I've been thinking about that while I was asleep. It's been bothering me. I had this dream that basically like a rat ended up on my pillow of the bed that I was sleeping in, and like I've just realised that that's not real. I'm quite glad because I remember thinking, "Oh no, that's horrible. I don't want to have to sleep there anymore and stuff." But now I just realised it's not real. And then in the same dream, I think it's either before or after that, Logan Paul was there, and he managed to convince me to pee all over the floor because he said it was going to be funny. And then I was in a theme park, and I was desperate for the toilet. I couldn't find the men's toilets, and then when I eventually found one, I can't even explain it. Basically, I needed the toilet in my dream. Like as soon as I woke up, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm desperate for the loo." Like I could literally feel it, like in my bladder, like the pressure or like the pain or something. Yeah, I could feel like a feeling down there. I'm not sure if it's the bladder or what. But I woke up thinking, yeah, I really need to piss. That's what I want to do. So, yeah, I'm finished with all the dreams now. They weren't very pleasant dreams. Like, if I'm desperate for the toilet and I'm not waking up to go to the toilet, I tend to have like bad dreams based on this feeling of discomfort or the pain or like the feeling of need to pee. Because I woke up a few times and I was like, oh, I need to piss, but I couldn't be bothered to go and do it. I just thought, no, I don't want to. I just want to go back to sleep. But then eventually, the dreams I'm having have become so unpleasant that I have to just like forces me to get up and go to the toilet. So that's what I did. So I mean, maybe now I'm up, I could just go back to sleep again because I've been to the toilet. But I'm gonna try the coffee strategy and see if it works. I'm gonna down some coffee, and if that manages to keep me up, then good. What if it doesn't? I don't really care anyway because I feel like it's one of those times where I don't even really want to be awake. Like it just means nothing. Like I'm awake to do what? Basically, I'm awake to just make another video right now, and that's really it. There's nothing else going on. Nothing else that I should care about. But I don't know what it was, but I just woke up and saw like Cal Freezy's face or whatever because it's on the video that I was last watching, and that was making me feel like, oh, I don't want to even be awake or alive right now. Just the look of the guy, I don't know why that. I don't know why that would even make me feel that way, but that's what I was thinking. I wonder if that guy's alright. I've got no idea. It's hard to tell sometimes. It's hard to tell sometimes what's what, isn't it? Anyway, I better go get this coffee and try and wake myself up a bit. I mean, obviously, but what does people think? Well, what does that even mean? Try and wake yourself up like you're awake. You can't wake yourself up if you're already awake. And yeah, that's so true. You're so right. I totally agree with you. What I mean is, I'm awake. I need some like stimulation to try and keep me, or to try and energize me, I guess. Because I'm awake, but I'm not super energized. I mean, I obviously am more energized than I was when I was asleep because I can actually got the strength to get up and sit up. But yeah, I've never thought in this depth and detail. This is really good. But yeah, it's interesting to think like, what percent of energy do I have right now? Like, am I like a phone where I have like a percentage of, power? And I'm not sure it works like that because you're a biological entity and you neither become full nor empty, or you may feel like fluctuating energy levels, but because that's constantly being affected, then it's not like a solid state where you could put a number on it. I couldn't put a number on how much energy I have right now. And it's kind of because, like, you don't really have energy. I mean, you do and you don't. Like, the idea of it exists, but how do you actually measure it? I guess I could try and measure it by, like, lifting weights or something. I've got weights there. So, like, at one time, I could see, I think that I could lift in a row. And then I could do that at another time. But I'm not sure if that means having more energy or if that means being more awake, quote unquote. Because, oh shit. Because the process of actually lifting those weights could provide some kind of stimulation that actually makes me, quote unquote, more energetic. I don't know. I'm thinking thoughts I've never thought before, and that's so good. Like, whenever I start thinking down a line of thinking that I've never actually thought before, I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to go in my mind in order to progress. You always have to go somewhere new in your own like way of thinking. In order to actually make any progress in life, you have to keep going down the old ways of thinking and sort of like reworking the same method. And then when a new way appears, you've got to take that on and then try and figure that out. I think some people don't even bother trying to attempt to think in new ways because they think like expressing their thoughts in the beginning phase of their understanding of them is like showing their lack of intelligence, which is really not true. It's that's showing the beginnings of the creation of your intelligence, and without expressing those, there's no development of that intelligence. So it's obviously much better to get rudimentary thoughts out so that you can understand them. because a lot of what you think you only realize what you understand as you actually vocalize your own thoughts. So it's really important to actually speak what it is you're thinking or feeling, so that you can figure out what it is you're even is that you do think. And you get to hear it yourself and then witness the progression of it. Why do I do that, like stretch and yawn like first thing in the morning? It's like there's some spirit that's leaving my body or something. That's what it looks like. Your body sort of contorts, and then your ability to speak becomes affected, and then you have to open your mouth wide. So it's as if you're like breathing out some evil spirit that's been like affecting you and stopping you from progressing. But once you let it out, that's probably a good thing. Not that it is like an evil spirit, not that it's even a spirit. I'm just using like a metaphor, because it's just first thing in the morning, isn't it? You're just tired, and does anyone know why the body would even react like that? Maybe it's like carbon dioxide, and maybe that's what people were describing like way back when they were talking about evil spirits and good spirits. Maybe they were just talking about oxygen and carbon dioxide. But I guess I'd probably think it's got to be more complicated than that. I think science and the rational way of thinking has in many ways ruined life by attempting to take away the mysteries and then say, hey, look, we have the answers to everything. Like, it's not fun at all. And the way that people sort of like use rationalism to try to bring other people down. I'm thinking of Richard Dawkins specifically. Like, it's just not fun. It's not nice. It's not pleasant at all. It's like taking away the joy and the fun of like the imagination. Like, I like all those things. I think that's what makes it kind of cool to be alive. I don't want to watch anything on the computer right now. And I've got nothing else to really do. So I'm just getting back into bed. So I end up doing when I feel like I have nothing to do. So I'll just keep going back to sleep. Because being awake is like, what's even the point of being awake? It's not depression in like a clinical way. Because I'm not depressed. I just I just don't really have anything that I could do. I mean, I do and I don't. Like, I most definitely could do something if I wanted to, but I just don't want to as well. I guess I don't want to do anything, and that's why I say there's nothing to do. Like, there are things to do. I could go on my computer and watch something on YouTube, but I just don't want to do that. And I'm not sure if I can explain why. I could try to explain, but I can't even be bothered to do that. I think I'm just so low energy, just tired. I just want to go back to sleep again. I mean, it's pretty... That's pretty, okay, I can't even be bothered. Alright. So I just woke up again after more dreams. Because I fell asleep again. I honestly have no idea what it is that I should be convincing myself that I should do. I think the basic idea is just look for work, find work, go to work. But there's so much more to it than that. It's not quite that simple. It sounds like an easy formula for what to do with your life. But is it really that simple? It can't be, surely. There must be more to it than that. I have no idea. I don't know. But that's what I think. It can't just be that. A repetitive cycle. I mean, it's not a cycle if you're sort of there in every moment. Like, if you're conscious in every second, it's not a cycle. If that makes sense. Which doesn't. And it doesn't have to. Because not everything makes sense. And not everything should make sense. Not just not everything should make sense, but not everything could make sense. So I started to think, you know what? I like it. I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm that guy. You don't like it? I don't like it either. But I am that guy. So what am I going to do about that? The answer to that is nothing. I'm not going to do anything about that. And maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I actually genuinely should do something about that. Maybe then I would actually get what I want. Yeah, I'll try and consider that. I think that there could be some truth in that. For sure. You have to try and consider things rather than just like unthinkingly following the pattern of thought. You do have to actually go, hang on a second. Does this person have a point? And if they do, just admit it and just be like, oh shit, yeah. You are actually totally correct. Despite what I said about not caring, you trying to tell me that I should care. is actually way better than what I was saying, because I was just talking a load of shit. Coffee is the only thing I have to do. Apart from talk to this camera, my only other activity is coffee. Apart from that, if we're going to make them all compete against each other, I've got going to the toilet, eating food, sitting in my chair, watching YouTube, this kind of thinking is so one-dimensional. It's not going to end well. There's got to be more to it than that. There always is. I know it. Every time you get this new dimension that's opened up to you, you then start to catch yourself going, what am I talking about? Why am I thinking like that? It's all so flat, you know? And is that what I want? Do I want to be flat? Do I want to experience flatness as me, myself, and I? I'm not flat. I know I'm not flat. I'm a super multidimensional person, more so than most. So it's pretty typical for me to be thinking like that. But it's way more interesting now to start to open up these ideas and actually explore them more. Because you think like, shit, I'm going to places that I've never been before. And this is awesome. Like, this is exactly what I was looking for. And it's not all about going to another place like what I was thinking. It's more about going to another place like here. Not going to another place there, going to another place here. Isn't that interesting? And I'm noticing now with like the continuation that I'm not having to explain every detail. And that's making it all so much better. Because there's no assumption of ignorance. And there's no assumption of having to address anyone's insecurities. Because it's just me and the camera. And isn't that so much better? Now I'm handing out the shots of whiskey and it's neat. Instead of being like, oh, I better water this down for you. We better make a whiskey and coke. That's going to be too strong for you, isn't it? And now I'm just like, straight from the bottle, let's go. That's how it feels, and I'm not trying to explain myself or to have to like, oh, let's turn this into like the baby version of conversation so that you can understand. Like, I'm not having to patronize anyone. I mean, you could never feel like you have to patronize the camera but it's the great thing about the camera is you're constantly visualizing it, this sort of like dialogue or this monologue, as if you're undressing, as if you're addressing like a specific person, a different person, but that's always shifting. It might seem like it stays as one person for a while, but then it'll be someone else, and that's quite interesting. So anyway, I can happily announce that yes, I have a job. Isn't that so great? And it's not what you think it is. it's so much better than that. I mean, it's so much different to that. And you could think any sort of range of variety of thoughts about it, but to me, it's not that I want anything anyway. I've already started off in that place. Like, I got there a long time ago, thinking, like, money? What do you mean? What do I want that for? I have no interest in that. Security? What do you mean, security? You think I'm interested in having security? Why would I want that? I went through that the longest time ago, and I'm still arguing with idiots about how they're looking at all of this incorrectly, because they're not they're not able to open their eyes to see any other dimension apart from the one that they exist in, which is all just a load of bullshit. And that's how stupid it gets. It's like, I'm having a conversation that's interesting, and there's a thread of intelligence that is not as stating the obvious. It's like, people that are idiots to me state the obvious, and they can only speak in a literal sense, and the conversation lacks any nuance. And that's what I was talking about, how it's flat. There's no extra dimension to the conversation whatsoever. There's no multiple layers of meaning. And you go, wow, this person, like, they think, they're convinced that they've, like, got it all correctly, and they think they know everything. And it's like they don't even understand the most absolute basic sort of little jokes or little bits of wordplay. They don't understand that, and they think they're so fucking smart. It's like, wow, you think you're so intelligent, and you're an absolute fucking moron. And you have no idea. That completely blows my mind, how you could be that fucking stupid. It really does. Yeah. This little Buddha sits here amongst atop the shelves, and he brings some peace to the house. And then this guy sits here, and he just looks happy and successful and everything. I like those guys. They're good guys. I think it is the case that the people who are the most stupid think they're the most intelligent, and the people who are the most intelligent think they're the most stupid. Do you know why that is? It's because what makes you intelligent is self-awareness. And what I just described is either an ability or an inability to have self-awareness. If you have self-awareness, that makes you intelligent. If you don't, and you can't even begin to think about what it is you think and why, or how it is you act and why, or what you're saying and why you're saying that, or all of that just applying to you, not even to bring anybody else into it. If you can't even begin to do that, then you're clearly not intelligent, because that's the basis of intelligence. It's consciousness, self-awareness, awareness. Take away the self, but just awareness. And the real stupidity and ignorance is to think that let's say someone else says something and you go, well, I don't understand what that person just said. And so they assume that they must know better, and that they must know smarter, because they go, well, I don't understand what they said, so it must have all just been a load of bullshit, and they're too stupid to talk to me. And it's like, you've just admitted that you didn't understand what they just said. So you have to attribute a lack of understanding on your own part to the fact that you're missing something, that you're not quite getting the point. And it doesn't have to be a competition of intelligence. You don't have to take place in a competition of who's more intelligent. But if you do take part in that competition, you're going to lose. And that's all I can say about that. There's no reason to take part. Don't take part in the competition and you win. The reason that you win is because you don't take part. If you enter the competition, whether you win or lose, you lose. If you don't enter the competition, you always win. I got that song going around in my head. It's Dua Lipa. Physical. It's a good song. She's good. For the most part. I have my own sort of likes and dislikes with every artist and any artist and every artist, but the kind of thinking that I've started to develop now is that people are taking their passionate love of certain music too seriously. You do have to have a bit of a reality check to keep telling yourself, like, I don't know this person. I've never met this person. And that sort of like devalues your position on whether you should have an opinion or not. So I find myself less and less saying, here's my opinion on this person, here's my opinion on that person. And it's most definitely if I've never met them in my entire life. You have to actually, like, having not met them still leaves them in the category to some degree to the imagination of them as being like unreal in some way or not actually existing. It just isn't true. So if you're talking about someone you've never met, you have to stop and ask yourself, why am I talking about this person? I've never met them in my entire life. And obviously, like, the most sort of seemingly basic response to that is, well, they're famous, quote unquote. They're a public figure, and that's just what people do. They talk about famous people. They talk about public figures, and I suppose that's what makes them famous. And then that's now what happens because they're famous. So, like, people talk about them, so they're famous, and they're famous, so people talk about them. So it's that kind of like a repeating cycle that comes from both directions in the same way. But I do think that, yeah, you may want to talk, and I think, okay, that's acceptable. But I think you have to limit your criticisms to reality because of you're thinking that what I just said before, like, this is actually a real person and I don't know them. So you have to think, well, how do I like it when people talk about me who don't know me, if that ever happens to you? Because obviously, like, we're all sort of famous in some way, to some degree. Every single person is known for something. And obviously, every year that you spend on this planet, like, that just increases to be more and more and more. But in comparison to other people who seem to have relatively more, I mean, does it mean anything? I would say, yeah, it shows like obviously it's like it's a direct connection to that person's ability to have works to the point where they can create more ability to attract people to whatever it is they're doing. So I guess the question then would be, well, how do you attract people to what you're doing? Is that something you do? Is that something you make a conscious effort to do, or is that something that just happens? And I think the answer to that has to be it's both, and it's neither. It's not like it's one or the other. I mean, you could try to make a reasoned argument for either. But that's never seeing the whole scope of it. It really does depend where a person's coming from and whether I would allow that in terms of like when people want to say it's this versus that. There's the way to do that which is correct, and that's knowing the full scope of it being both but neither. But deciding just out of interest to take a side, and then not taking it so seriously or taking it too far to the point where they're not seeing the other sides. Like you've got to show first, I'm seeing the other sides. Then we go, okay, yeah, you're seeing the other sides. So they go, yeah. So okay, right. You can try and convince us as to why you prefer this side, so long as you've got the understanding of what all the other sides are like. Because that's what keeps situational awareness out of like the ghoul zone, or let's change that word. That's what keeps situational awareness outside of the dead zone or the danger zone. That's probably a better way to say it, rather than all that fucking rubbish about whatever that a mythical creature, all that bullshit. I'm not interested in any of that. So now, where we're going with these thoughts is just I have to reiterate that it's looking at different types of. Well, actually, first of all, let's try and assert this point that there are no types of people really. There's situations that bring out the different sides of the same people, but those different sides are in all the different so-called different people, and this is all the proof and the evidence that no one is different to anyone, really. They're all exactly the same, although they play characters of acting like they're different from the others, which they're not. And if you know that you're not different from anybody else, then you start thinking, well, why am I playing this character of thinking that I'm different, you know? That has to start to break down. And then there'll be lots of questions. And then it's like all the proof and the evidence is there to say, well, look, this is what you're like, you know? So then you have to accept everything about yourself, just like the other people do, and the other people who are already seeing multiple sides, and they're already playing multiple sides. They're aware of all of that, and they know that it's like, yeah, this is just like a game that we play called life, and it's not like we have any other option because we're not going anywhere. So we're gonna keep playing this game, whether you think that's like crazy or something. I mean, that doesn't really stop anyone from doing anything. It could stop someone from doing something in a positive way. Like it might have a good effect. That's definitely a possibility. But that's not going to change the way people feel when it comes to like, we've already got this figured out. And maybe it should, because maybe that's another deeply entrenched like path that's been walked too many times and has become this like stubborn arrogance. Like that also could be something that I would consider. And you have, you know, I'm personally now reaching these points where I look at what's happening, and I go, okay, yeah, I've got to start following my own advice here and listen. But it's not like I have to do that really, because it's so completely intuitive that there's nothing stopping me from doing that. Like, I've already examined the way this function of the mind works to such a degree that when the apparent when the apparent flash of a realization occurs, there's instant connection for me, and I don't have to then have this like mental breakdown thinking, oh no, who am I becoming? What am I going to do? Is this how, all that stuff that some people go through and that I've been through, obviously, at times, but just long ago. But then since a long time since then, I've worked out what it is that makes these thoughts occur, and then I've already taken these ideas apart to the point now where it's like, now I can, as soon as I have the thought of like, no, that's incorrect, change your mind, then I go, like, straight away I'll just connect to that and go, yeah, of course. Like, I'm always willing to actually correct myself and change my direction of where my ideas are going in order to adopt what is evidently a better idea. And it might not be evident that it's a better idea, but I have to accept its strength when it comes in, and the possibility of me questioning it in that moment has become like a foreign concept. So, and maybe that is some form of mind control, is being sort of trained into this position of just accepting ideas without questioning. But I mean, during a conversation of any kind, in order for that to continue, in order for there to be words spoken, there has to be different points where acceptance is achieved and then adaptation. And it's whether that's going to take time, or whether you just instantly adopt a new idea and you just accept it and consider it right there and then. So what I see in people now is that when introducing new concepts to them, there's a second where they stop and they think. And for some reason, for them to stop and think is something they consider to be something that they fear, as if like there's weakness in stopping and thinking. And I have no issue whatsoever with being seen to stop and think, and also being seen to change my mind. I don't think there's any issue in that, and don't have the same kind of fear that arises in those moments of going, what are you talking about? And then they explain, and then I go, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is a good idea. It's like, why would you ever be scared to just tell someone else that you think they're correct? I think the fear comes from probably previous experiences in thinking that if you allow someone else to think they're right, you're in some way feeding their ego or flattering them in a way that then goes to their head and makes them into somebody who thinks they have some kind of dominance over you personally, when that's not the way I react at all. That's not the reaction I have. I don't take the idea that I've said something that is correct and then develop an identity around thinking that I'm now correct about everything. There's no like false correlation for me of thinking that if you're right about one thing, you're right about everything. And that's another issue of the way people now currently think, and it's not all of them, but I'm seeing it enough to have to comment on it, is people are now thinking, if you agree with one thing someone says, you now just agree with everything that person says and everything they do. Let's take Donald Trump, for instance, right? That was such a polarizing issue in the US and still is, but there's all those people who oversimplified anyone's sort of praise for anything he did. So if he did anything good and someone said, yeah, I think that was a good idea, then they go, so you're a Trump supporter? And then it goes, oh, don't you know that he was in the Epstein files and all this stuff? It's like, you're not a Trump supporter just because you said you like something you did. That you like something you did. You don't support every single thing he has ever done just because you said you like something he did. You have to be able to like separate a single action from the entirety of a person's lived experiences, and without that, there's no chance of making the people you don't like into better people without being able to pick out what they did do that you liked and then praise that, because that's exactly the thing. It's doing that which encourages somebody to go in a better direction than the one they have been in before. If you understand that, you'll see why it is not a good idea whatsoever to try and condense a person's entire personality into one action. It's not fair at all. And so when people do that, it very quickly becomes the case that I just think that's exactly what they need to think about, what I just said. So I like to think that there's hope for everybody, and there's a possibility of change for the better for every person, no matter what they've done. There's always something they can do to improve their lives. And I think the phrase that I often use and will continue to use is like, well, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's say you don't like somebody in particular. Let's say they're 30 years old or whatever. Well, there's a pretty good chance they're going to be around for like at least like the next 40 years. And I highly doubt that you're planning to do anything about that. So when you think about that, you've got to say, well, what am I going to do? As if you need to like do something about it, which you don't. And basically, what you have to do is this. Disagree with what someone did or what someone said. Don't disagree with the facts that they exist. They exist, they will exist, and they will continue to exist. And to try to do anything about that on your part is an issue that you have. And that has nothing to do with them. I can understand the motivation to feel that way. That doesn't mean I agree with it. Hokey dokey karaoke. Go do the hokey cokey. Put your left foot in, put your left foot out. In, out, shake it all about. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I opened the camera to say I'm going to meet a certain someone. Oh wait, is that an Arctic Monkeys song? Oh no, that's A Certain Romance. Oh man, the Arctic Monkeys is so great. Anyway, I'm going to meet a certain somebody down the road on the canal. The canal's probably the nicest bit around here, and it's looking like fairly good weather. It's not too cold, it's actually kind of warm. It's quite sunny, so hopefully it's be a nice time. It looks quite nice out and about. That's good. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Whoa, the hokey dokey. Whoa, the hokey dokey. Whoa, the hokey dokey. Knees bent, arms stretched, rah rah rah. Yeah, look around at all the beauty, man. The more I stay inside, then when I go out, the world looks so much more beautiful for having stayed away from it. There is, I think, only so much video that I can actually do inside before I need some sort of outside stimulus to actually make me think a little bit in order to actually have something to say again. I mean, it might not be true, because really I create a lot of the stimulus in terms of me talking makes me then think, and then I think about different things, and obviously I'm always listening to different kinds of things anyway, so I don't think there's any shortage of stimulus, but there's something about inside versus outside where you've got to have a bit of both, I think, personally. If you just have one or the other, it's not that good. If you have both, that's great. The only issue I do have with going outside is it's like every time it's going to be the return of the "what are you looking at" warriors. They always seem to be there. You can't just look around at the world around you without someone saying, "What are you looking at?" As if they don't know what they are. Isn't that crazy? Oh mate, you should see the you should see the zoom that my cousin has on his phone. He's got a Google phone, and he was sat there with me, and he like, see that guy in the red, see the person in the red in the distance, like really far away. Yeah, he could like zoom right in on it here, and you could just see it like crystal clear. Yeah. Like the zoom. What's up, vlog? We're just chilling now. We're listening to some music. We're listening to Lewis Cole. He's one of my favourite artists. And I went to see him live in Manchester a couple of years ago. Can't remember what the place was called.
Ritz.
Oh yeah, the Ritz. Yeah, it's called the Ritz. It was supposed to be across the road at a place called Gorilla, but I think because it sold out so quickly and there was still a demand for tickets, they got a bigger place. So good for fucking him, man. Good for Lewis. Like he's actually reached that level of popularity where they're selling out shows and having to get bigger venues. That's good. I think when he did his tour with Red Hot Chili Peppers, that really boosted his following quite a lot. Because that was what they did at one point, is they were opening up for the Chili Peppers on their tour. Anyway, that's all we're doing now. Got some coffee again, so bon appetit. Sunset. We've just been listening to Lewis Cole. Extended listening session. All the greatest hits. From Freaky Times to Weird Part of the Night. I'm not a salesperson for Lewis Cole. I just like his music. But anyway, we've headed out now, and I guess just enjoying the night and seeing the beautiful sunset. I probably won't be out for too long. It's probably not going to be too long before I head back again. But at least for now, a little bit more of out and about. Keep watching. Can we vlog it? Yes, we can. Can we vlog it? Yes, we can. Can we vlog it? Yes, we can. We're still oot and about, as the Scots say. And we've just been chatting away about all sorts of crap. I was just saying, maybe it would be an interesting job to work at Wickes Home Improvement Centre. It might not be. It probably isn't. But it might be. I've really got to start thinking about where am I going to get some bread. You know what I mean? So I got to start thinking about where I might like to work, if anywhere. I don't know. I still have a pretty sizable aversion to it. But if they were nice people and it seemed like a good opportunity and the money was right, I'd probably say yes. You know? Alright, peeps. Today's video has been very scatterbrain. I'm okay with it. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Who even are you anyway? I'll be back in tomorrow. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to stop doing this for any fucking prick who thinks that I'm going to stop doing my daily video. I'm going to do it no matter fucking what. Fuck you. If you want to tell me to stop, fuck you. I'm going to keep fucking doing it. You know why? Because I fucking can. I don't know why the camera just spun around then. Anyway, so I'm back in the gaff. I'm having a good night, and it's 7:51. I got to end the video here. So if you're watching this, fuck you. Oh, sorry. I mean, if you're watching this, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow for more of the Mighty Boosh. Sorry. I mean, for more of the James Atkinson Show. No, that doesn't sound very good. Fuck it, whatever, look, just piss off, alright?